Are all women narcissists? This is a question I sometimes get asked. And some variations of the question are rather rude and hateful. But before I answer this question, let me first say that most people are incredibly appreciative of the information that I share on my channel. And I'm actually blown away and super grateful to all of you who take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. I read each and every comment. I'm Lise Leblanc, and as a therapist for nearly 25 years, I've seen how mental health problems and personality disorders can wreak havoc in people's lives and in their relationships. And while it's true that all relationships contain some level of dysfunction, even healthy relationships, but healthy relationships or normal relationships are worlds apart from that of a relationship with a narcissist, which is off the charts toxic. So let's face it, we're all flawed. When two imperfect human beings come together, there will be problems to work through. We will say and do stupid, hurtful things at times. But generally speaking, we can respectfully communicate most of the time, and we genuinely care about each other's feelings, needs, and success in life. Thankfully, most people have experienced healthy relationships and know the difference between a normal relationship and a relationship with a narcissist. And if you don't, hopefully it's because you've never had the experience of being with a narcissist. So going back to the question of whether all women are narcissists or whether all humans are narcissists, the answer is no. Most of us do have some level of narcissism. And if we didn't, most of our needs wouldn't get met and we probably wouldn't survive the harsh realities of life. But fortunately, most have what would be considered healthy narcissism, which allows us to have a positive sense of self that still takes the greater good and the needs of others into consideration. For those who have dealt with a narcissist, either in your family or in intimate relationships, you already know that there is a major difference between a normal person and a narcissist. The person with NPD is truly self-absorbed, needing excessive attention and praise, and they have a severe deficit in empathy. It's not that they don't want to care, it's that they just don't, for reasons that I explain in some of my other videos. According to research, only about 1 to 5% of people would qualify for a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, depending on which studies you're looking at. And if we applied the bell curve to the trait of narcissism, it would follow that approximately 11 to 15% of people have higher than average narcissistic tendencies, or what might be referred to as a narcissistic personality style, leaving 74% of the population within the average range or below average range. Now, it does appear to me that we are becoming more narcissistic as a society, and I have many theories about this, and I would love to hear yours in the comment section. My theories include addiction to technology, social media, the approval and attention of others, while children are being left to entertain themselves and be raised by an iPad. And as we become more self-absorbed and disconnected from the whole, we become less concerned about the greater good of society and less empathetic to the suffering of others. Still though, someone with NPD is at the extreme end of this spectrum. This is not your average jerk, or as it relates to the question of whether all women are narcissists, this is not your average, woman who might be moody and irritable when stressed or at certain times. This is a woman who is entitled, attention-seeking, extremely unempathetic, who will leverage some of your greatest qualities and use them against you. Your patience, your kindness, your loyalty, your integrity, and especially your need to be needed. And as I described in some of my other videos on the female covert narcissist, she will use tricks and tactics to beat you into submission and turn you into basically an emotional slave. Now, some people are more vulnerable to falling victim to a narcissist. And so if this is your experience with all relationships or all women, it would be wise to consider the possibility that you may have something to do with it. When we relive the same recurrent problems over and over, it's easy to keep the blame on someone else. But at some point, we must recognize that we may in fact be the common denominator. And if this is your case, I would recommend examining your early life relationships with women, starting with your mother. Was she domineering, manipulative, controlling, or abusive? Was she overindulgent? You could do no wrong. Did she use you as an emotional crutch, either because she was a single parent or was with a neglectful, abusive, or narcissistic partner? What was your relationship with other females, sisters, aunts, cousins, friends? What was your experience and impression of the relationship dynamics between the males and females in your family? My point here is, if you keep finding yourself in toxic relationships, then there is likely something unresolved in you that needs your attention. And it probably goes back to way before you met your narcissistic partner. So instead of keeping the blame on all women or all men, on whoever, find someone who can help you examine what's really going on and where this problem stems from. And all of this goes for a woman who thinks that all men are narcissistic as well. I'm only focusing on women in this video because this is the question that came to me. Are all women narcissistic? And it's come up a few times. So for men who have repeatedly found themselves in relationships with narcissistic women, my advice to you is stop trying to be her end-all be-all, her knight in shining armor. Stop making yourself indispensable and irreplaceable, because this hero-protector complex is a big part of what makes you vulnerable to the tactics of someone with narcissistic personality disorder, or even someone with any type of personality disorder. Now, I'm not saying to stop being a good person. Don't stop being someone who cares, who has high integrity, who is loving, but rather to let go of the need to please, to fix, to help, to save. Just put your cape away and examine why you have this need to be a hero, because this may be what is getting you into trouble and causing you to fall deeper and deeper into the deceptions and delusions of the narcissist. So again, if you keep getting sucked back into these toxic relationships, instead of thinking all women are toxic or all women are narcissistic, get some insight into why you're falling prey to this type of person. One guy told me that his relationships were basically reflecting each chapter of the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Fortunately, he had good insight into his part in his relationship patterns, and he understood that his childhood trauma and abuse had set the tone and the belief that he deserved this type of abuse. Now, this may not be your issue, but if you are in a cycle or a pattern, meaning you're repeatedly finding yourself in these types of relationships, then again, don't make the mistake of thinking everyone in the world or all women are narcissists, and start looking at how you're showing up or what you're bringing or not bringing to your relationships. And again, I'm talking specifically here to those who believe, based on their own toxic relationship history, that all women or all men are toxic, abusive, or narcissistic. And if you've had the misfortune of having one relationship with a narcissist and are now avoidant of this type of person and acutely aware of the costs of getting involved with them, you're not the person I'm talking to in this video. For more videos on narcissistic personality disorder, please check out my NPD playlist. And if you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel.